Vibe Show 97.9. What it do? What's going on, man? Yeah, we already know. Phones been blowing up, emails been blowing up, man. I tell you what, I'm gonna have to get my guests on here more often, man. I mean, I'm getting a whole bunch of love. It's just it's amazing. It's amazing. But y'all know I'm always coming through, man, blessing y'all with these treasures, man, that we all love. I'm talking about this guest that I have coming on tonight, man, that's gonna bless us, man. I'm talking about Grammy nominee, singer, songwriter, producer, man, delivered us so many hits, man, been blessing us over the years. Just a blessing to us all, man. I'm talking about the one, the only Case.
Well, yo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There he is right there. What's going on, my brother?
I'm good, man. How you?
Listen, man, I've been turned up all day. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm a huge fan, and I'm not gonna even play no games, man. You're definitely one of my favorites, so I'm having a fan moment right here, man, for real.
Appreciate that.
Most definitely. How you feeling today, man? We're gonna jump it off with that, making sure that you know in a good mental space. A lot been going on. Just want to make sure that everything's been good with you, man.
Yeah, everything been crazy. I've been crazy, but I'm good. I'm about to go to the studio in a few minutes when we done. So, I'm working. I'm just trying to stay sane like everybody else,
Right. Absolutely, man. You're looking good, man, as usual. You know what I'm saying? Still looking vibrant.
I'm trying. I'm still here. I can't be mad at that.
Right. Now, I'm talking about we got we talking about 7 studio albums. You know what I mean? Just constantly delivering the hits back to back over the years, just been blessing us, man. I'm talking about the soundtrack games, just been crazy, just blessing the soundtracks, you know what I'm saying, on some of the favorite movies that we all love. But I want to go back a little bit too, just to give them just a little bit of history on you or whatever. I just want to go back just a little bit and find out if it was anything that Case was doing before the music game.
Oh yeah. Well, the main thing I was doing before the music game was trying to get in the music game. You feel me?
Right.
That was the main thing I was doing. But I was just a lot of stuff I'm not proud of,
Right.
I was just trying to my thing was to try to keep myself alive until I can make this dream come true, because that's what I always wanted to do.
Right.
And so, the regular shit, regular hood shit, selling drugs, nothing major. Like I said, just trying to survive.
Right.
Just stuff like that.
Right. And so it's really always been music in your spirit. What really inspired you to want to really take it serious, though? Because we all have those dreams and inspired to do a lot of things or whatever. Sometimes we have people around us that can kind of motivate that inspiration that we have and kind of push us in the right direction, but then it's a lot of us that don't really have that, and we kind of give up on those dreams or whatever. Thank God that you didn't. But what would you say was at that point that really made you just say, you know what, I got it, I want to take this serious?
Well, for me, I was born and raised in New York, and so I lived in the Bronx in Brooklyn for all my childhood. When I was 16, I think maybe 15, 16, I moved from Brooklyn to Mount Vernon, New York. And at the time that I moved there, it was right when Heavy D came out, I'll Be Sure. And so before that time, I knew I wanted to do music, but all of the people that were doing music were older than me. You had like Kashif, you had Luther. So it was like a older dude's game.
Right.
So around the time I moved to Mount Vernon, I come outside of my high school and Heavy D is outside chilling.
What?
I go to the store, I'll Be Sure is there.
Right.
And then that was when the New Jack Swing movement started. And what that clicked in my head was, okay, it is possible for me to do this being a young dude. And so that was the biggest inspiration for me to really, it became less of a dream and more of something that I could actually go after once I saw that.
Right. Kind of seeing these guys that, from around the way, you know what I mean? Yeah. Definitely. Now, so, that was some of the inspiration right there. So let's talk about actually getting a deal, because having talent and you know, having the vision at the same time, like you said, it's not easy to just be able to get in the game and actually become a recording artist and you know, dealing with the industry, because the industry can be tricky.
Right. Oh, and that can be. It's gonna be. It's definitely gonna be. Um,
Right.
well, for me, it was just the main thing I was focused on was making demos.
Hmm.
Because back in them days, you had to make a demo, and your demo
Right.
had to be banging. You know what I mean? So I was just focused on getting in with people, because that's when everybody started having a studio at their house, and I could go and I could write songs, I could work on music. Um, Me and Albie Shaw became cool, and I would go in the studio with him, and
Right.
he teach me about writing songs and the proper way that you're supposed to write songs and the proper
Uh-huh.
way you're supposed to put them together, and you know, just how to format the songs and how to bring what's in my head to life. And so
Right.
I learned a lot from him around that time.
Right. Now, getting your first deal,
Mhm.
you know, that was that introduction right there to me, you know, was really a special project right there, man, because I felt like when you came in the game, I felt like you brought something different to the
Mhm.
game. You know, you kind of brought a style that, you know, I felt like we could all relate to too. You kind of had, like, you know, as far as like the gear and everything, you know, it was, I feel like the stuff that you were rocking was relatable,
Right,
and
right,
then the music that you were dropping too was things that we could also relate to too, coming from different life experiences and stuff like that. As far as like putting that first project together and actually getting that big deal, what was that feeling like to you?
the feeling of getting the first deal was, I can't even describe it. It was like, it was something that I dreamed about from the time I was like maybe 3, 4 years old. Like sometime
Right.
I post on Instagram when it's Throwback Thursday. I had pictures when I was 3, 4 years old with a microphone singing for company. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
So that's what I always wanted to do. And so to get the first deal was actually a dream come true for me. And it was just, okay, this is what I wanted, and I went after it, and it's here now. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
I couldn't begin to describe how that felt.
Right. Right. You know, going from, like, you know, recording your demos and then actually going into like the bigger studios and stuff like that or whatever, that's a whole different vibe and experience right there
Yeah, yeah, it is.
alone.
It is.
um
It is.
Now, from you know, from what I've gathered and from what I've heard from, you know, being in the entertainment business and dealing with a lot of people or whatever, when it comes down to R&B, you know, it is a little bit different when it comes down to the engineership or whatever, because, you know, it ain't like rappers, you know, it's a little bit different. We're working with vocals.
Right.
And I mean, the game that changed now too. We got a lot of people who can't sing, but then the studio can make them sound great. You know, thank God you were one of
I'm
those
glad
ones.
you said that and I didn't. I'm glad you said that
It's
and I didn't.
just, hey, case is real, man. Like, you know what I mean?
When it's
Like
real,
being
it's real. When it's real, it's
on
real.
that other
When it's real, it's
side,
real.
you know, hearing that first project, and I would like to let me see. I want to show you something here, man. When you see that,
You see that Steeler jersey though, right?
oh, come on,
To the
man.
jersey.
when when you see that cover right there, man, what comes to mind when you see that?
That's a few things actually for me. For one, it's the culmination of my life's dream. But
Hmm.
also, I've always hated that album.
Really?
And I'm gonna explain to you why. Everybody
Okay.
says that.
Okay.
When I was making that album, Jodeci was out, right?
Hmm.
And what I was getting was, oh well, he sounds like Jodeci,
Right.
and I didn't want to sound like that. You know what I'm saying? I never came into it to try to sound like somebody,
Right.
and so it kind of all, instead of me just going in and singing the songs, I
Hmm.
went in and sang the songs consciously trying to not sound a certain way, and
Ah,
you can't make music that way.
right. Right.
And I'm gonna tell you what got me out of doing that. Ironically, one day me and KC was in my car, and
Hmm.
We sitting there, we drinking, we smoking, we listening to music, and it came up. We talked about it. And he was like,
Right.
man, listen. He was like, you sound like you, I sound like me, Cisco sound like Cisco. He was like, just do what you feel. Don't worry about people saying that you sound like this and sound like that, because we all grew up listening to the same music, so we're gonna sound alike on some level.
Right.
And what did it for me is that I was playing him a new song I had done.
Right.
He never heard the song, right? There was a part in the song that came, so he's listening, he's vibing, and he did an ad lib. At the same exact time, I did the same exact ad lib on
Come
the
on,
song.
man. Are you
And
serious?
there was a girl in the back seat, and she was like, "You heard this before?" He was like, "Nah, I never heard it before, but it belonged there."
Right.
And so once I saw that, I'm like, I mean, you can't. And he told me, he was like, "You can't fight against who you are for the sake of people not for the sake of people not saying, hey, you sound like this or that. You just got to do what's real to you."
Right. Right. You know, because and I'm personally, I don't really think I don't think you sound like Jodeci or anything like that. I didn't hear that. To
Well,
me,
I don't even. Well, I consciously made an effort not to.
Right.
But when he said that, it was like, yo, if people say I sound like it, fuck it.
Right. When it comes down to like the industry, you know, and all the years that you've been in the game or whatever, you know, it was like some pockets or whatever that became kind of uncomfortable for you as well. Would you say that that was just from like the overall going through the overall experience of being connected to the machine and their way, or not being able to kind of like have as much freedom as you thought that you should have as far as creating these projects?
Yeah, what it is that you playing a game, and the game that you playing, you're not in charge of the game. And so when you first come into the game, you're going to play by somebody else's rule.
Right.
Once the first project came out and Touch Me, Tease Me came out, it was such a hit, and I bucked back against the system. For every project after that, they was like, do whatever you want to do.
Right.
And that was the biggest thing for me. Once they gave me that green light, I could just, and then like I said, I had the conversation with KC, and so it became it was like it was a freedom that comes along with that, because now you're not worried about, okay, people are gonna think this, people are gonna think that, and the record label wants me to do. The record label is like, do whatever you want to do and bring it to us. And so that's where the freedom came in.
Right. So you would say more like when you kind of like can prove that you can actually do something big, like you say, with having a big hit like that, a huge hit like that. You know, you kind of get awarded that freedom. Just trying to break it down for like some of these inspiring artists who you know, because they see the things that they see on TV, the after product and everything, but not really know on the inside how things really kind of work a little bit until you actually get in.
You know what's the thing about the new artists, and I respect this about them. They are afforded a certain freedom that we didn't have because of the internet and everything.
Right.
They can sit in their house, and whatever they feel, they can just do it.
Right.
When you have a label, when you have Def Jam, let's not even say a label. You have Def Jam, and then I had the pressure of Def Jam was Russell Simmons. LL Cool J was the first artist that Russell Simmons ever signed to Def Jam.
Absolutely.
I was the last artist that Russell Simmons personally signed to Def Jam.
Wow.
So I kind of had that pressure of, yo, I gotta do this. The freedom that's afforded to these new artists, that they don't have that pressure. They can, whatever they feel, they can do it. Some of the shit is bullshit, some of it is dope.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's the freedom to do it.
Right. Would you say like
I didn't have the freedom to do bullshit or to do dope shit. I had so many hands in the pot, and I was signed to a production deal also. So whatever I did had to come from me, go through the production company, go through Def Jam, and then it would come out. You know what I mean? So there's a certain freedom that comes along with being a new artist now that I definitely admire.
Right. And you know, speaking of the And that's one of my favorite songs too, man. To Touch Me, Tease Me. Let's talk about that Foxy Brown collaboration. Can we talk about like how that collaboration came about? Because I mean, I really can't really picture anybody else collabing on that particular joint.
Right. Well, what we did was we had the song, we had the track done. It was like December '95. We actually finished writing Touch Me, Tease Me and recorded it on Christmas Eve, 1995. And once we were done, we was like, yo, we need a rapper on it. So the dude I was signed to, Kenny Smooth at Spoiled Rotten, he was like, yo, we need a female rapper. So we went through the whole list. We was like, okay, Lauryn Hill, Left Eye,
Right.
Lil Kim, and I forgot who it was, but somebody was like, you know, Foxy is on Def Jam, and she had just had the I Shot Ya, and she was hot.
Yeah.
So she was right under our nose, like, yo, we just completely didn't even think about her.
Right.
And so we called her up, sent her the record. She came to the studio. She wrote a verse. She knocked it out, and that's what it was. But we went through like a whole process before
really?
we realized that was what we had right in front of us.
Right, right. And I mean, at this point, I mean, you know, I kind of feel like that vibe there, you know, was so organic, the way it sound, you know, and then the visual, it just put the icing on the cake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we try to keep it simple. Actually, the director for that video was Brett Ratner, that directed Rush Hour and a bunch of big movies. But that was we wanted to keep it as simple as possible.
Right.
To the point where a lot of people don't notice, I had another outfit that I was supposed to wear for that video as a second outfit.
Yeah, yeah.
The director didn't want me to wear it. And we was like, fuck you, I'm wearing it.
Right.
Russell Simmons got what he was doing, got in the car and drove down there and made me not put the second outfit on because he wanted to keep it as simple as possible.
Wow. So what was the outfit, if you don't mind me asking? Like,
okay, if you look at the single artwork for Touch Me, Tease Me, I have on a black leather army suit.
Right.
I don't know if you saw the single cover for Touch Me, Tease Me. So for the video, I had the Jerry Rice jersey, which we used in the video, but I also had a red leather army suit. This shit was dope. And Russell was like, no, because you're gonna look like fucking Eddie Murphy. We're not doing that. So that's what he was doing. You know how hard it is to get Russell Simmons to stop what he's doing?
Absolutely. I can only imagine.
Talking to him on the phone, before you can say anything, he just says about 20 sentences nonstop. He don't let you interrupt, and then he hangs up. And so for him to stop what he was doing, he was like, yeah, you can't wear that shit. And so we kept it as simple as we could.
Right. When it comes down to, you know, we've heard the felonious stories about, you know, Russell and you know, him being kind of like, you know, a straight shooter or whatever. Yeah. Would you say, like, you know, experiencing over the years being, you know, a part of the machine and then, you know, unplugging from the machine, and because I always felt like, to me, you know, R&B artists, I think that it's a little bit more difficult outside of the machine for the R&B artists a little bit. I just wanted to get your opinion on that, because I feel like it takes more with the R&B artists as opposed to, you know, the rappers.
Yeah, you know what it is? It helps to be an R&B artist that already has a fan base, which I'm blessed to already had that. But to be starting out like that, yes, it's extremely hard, especially nowadays. But it's actually changed because nowadays the most streamed genre of music is R&B. And so you're not going to get the big sales and the radio stuff that we used to get in the 90s.
Right.
But you will get a different type of success. You know what I mean? The game has changed so much, is that you have to kind of change your expectations to go along with it.
Right. Let me ask you this. You know, being an R&B guy, do you think that, because you know, it was a period where, you know, R&B really kind of started dying out at some point or whatever, which I absolutely hated, because, you know, at one point we had R&B, then we had rap, then we had, you know, whatever other genres that and then when we started doing that, I felt like it just tarnished and took away from, you know, all that good love making music and that we had or whatever. You know, at that point, doing around that phase or whatever, what space were you in mentally, and did you kind of foresee it coming?
Well, to answer your second question, I didn't foresee it coming. What happened was that we started out. It started out in about 1992 with Mary's first album,
Right.
and that's when the fusion of no, I take that back. It started in the late '80s with New Jack Swing. They started fusing hip hop with R&B, and it kept going and kept going, and then it got to a point where the lines was blurred. You couldn't tell who was R&B and who was a singer. And it
Right.
stayed like that till about maybe 2010, 11. And
Right.
I think now it's starting to come back around to, okay, this person's a singer, this person's a rapper. You know what I mean? And that, I mean, that's only natural when you're exploring new stuff. Like it's gonna, sometimes the lines get blurred. It takes a while for it to come back around to where it's supposed to be, but it always comes back around.
Right.
As far as my mind state around that time, I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't know what the fuck to make,
Right.
because I'm like, every song was about the strip club and fucking and having a threesome,
Right.
which, and my thing is that music should be what you're going through in life.
Right.
Nobody was fucking more than me. Nobody was going to more strip clubs, but there was more going on in my life than that. And I felt like the music should have reflected more than just that. The music should reflect what's going on in your life. And I felt
Right.
like artists started only talking about that part of their life. And so at
Right.
that point, I wasn't quite sure what it was that I should be making, but I wasn't going to make what was trendy.
Right. Do you feel like that's you think that that was strategically done that way to I don't know,
Responsible.
because I just feel like, that part of the game was being stripped away, because I felt like, music, like when we go back and we listen to, songs, and we listen to your music, you can always reflect on a situation or a time you was with this chick or whatever. That's what I felt like, what I loved about, the R&B music. And then I felt like you said, when they started crossbreeding it, you couldn't
It just
really
got
identify.
lost for me.
Yeah,
Well,
because it got to.
here's what I think. Here's something that I noticed at that time. There was a time in the late '90s. Okay, let's go back.
Mhm,
When Russell Simmons started Def Jam, and when Andre Harrell started Uptown,
mhm.
he was like, he could say, "Hey, I believe in this artist. Whoever the artist is, so and so, I believe in him."
Right.
So they can put out a bunch of records, and none of them may be hits, but I believe in them, so I'm gonna keep going until they get a hit.
Mhm,
Perfect example: the Temptations back in the Motown days. They was known as the no-hit Temptations,
hmm,
but he believed in them, so he
mhm,
kept going until they got a hit. So was the Supremes were known as that, the no-hit Supremes.
mhm.
Kept going until they got a hit. What happened in the late '90s, that corporations started buying up the record companies. And this includes Def Jam. Def Jam was sold to Polygram, then it was sold to Universal. When you do that, what happens is you take that out of it. You take the I believe in this artist out of it, because the corporations don't care about the artist. They care about their bottom line at the end of the year. And
Mhm.
so what happened was the executives at the record label, instead of being like, I believe in this artist, they was like, I believe in keeping my job. And so if
Ah,
so-and-so don't have a hit, I'm gonna get fired. So instead of me keep pushing him and trying to get him right, what I'm gonna do is copy so and so because they got a hit, and that way I keep my job. And I think that is what messed up R&B for a while.
right, man. It's crazy to me though, because time and time again, I guess the thing that I don't really understand is, and maybe you can help me understand this, because it's very disheartening to me to see artists um put in so much work, bless the game with so many hits,
Mhm.
platinum albums, tours and everything, and then you end up with nothing.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that in a way it's because I mean, I know everybody be saying, well, you should have read the contract, and all this or whatever. That's so easy to say, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying, at the end of the day, do you think that upon getting these different contracts and stuff like that or whatever, because a lot of people come in the game really, really young, you don't really know a lot about
Right.
contracts,
And they come from nothing. And they come from nothing.
and they come from
Especially
nothing.
us. We come from nothing.
Right. So do you think that, those type of things are strategically done? Because I think that enough money is being made to where artists should be able to, like yourself, should be able to live a great lifestyle after putting in so much work and just blessing the game?
Well, here's what happens. And to answer your question, yes, it is strategic. The reason why I know this is that I had a artist friend that was they was in a rock and roll group.
Really?
And I knew my contract. I saw their contract. Coming into the game, they give us way less than they give them. So for instance, they may give us 8 cents every record, right? They giving them 50 and 60 cents a record.
Really?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. And it's definitely on purpose. Like and what they do is they find something that works, and then they get a white version of it, and then they forget about us. They've done it for years. They did it with Chuck Berry came out, and he was shit. They was like, okay, we're gonna get a white boy to do what you do, Elvis. And now Elvis is the king of rock and roll. They had Boyz II Men. Boyz II Men was the biggest shit ever. They was like, you know, we're gonna get the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. And now we ain't fucking with y'all no more. That Coolio. They was like, Coolio is the shit. You know what? Let's go get Vanilla Ice or whoever. You know what I'm saying? That's how that goes. It's gone like that since the 50s. You know what I mean? They give us less than they give them. And I know that for a fact. I've seen that for a fact.
Right. And
that's not just R&B.
Right. It's kind of to the point to where, you know, because like I say, we see all these different stories, and it's kind of to the point to where, you know, it's really nothing that can be really done about it, because it's like, in a way, it's like the people that you entrust, you know, they kind of sell out too. Because I mean, you know, you know, with sometimes artists, when being an artist, you in the creating mode, you know, and you have the big budgets and stuff. Like when you were in the game around that era, you know, the big budgets on the table, you know, you got the dopest videos and all of these different things. But then at the end of the day, all this stuff is coming out of your bottom line.
When you late to the studio, and the other thing that artists don't do is they don't audit the record company. So a lot of times people audit and find out that they're double charging you for stuff. But if you don't go check, they're not going to tell you that they're doing that. Why would they tell you that?
Right.
And so, but I think that's changed around with this whole new independent wave and with the internet, because now they got to come up off the money.
Right.
And like, you can't tell us. And the first person I heard of saying doing this was E40, P, Too Short. They was like, Hammer. They was like, yo, we give you $1 million. He's like, well, I made $1 million selling it out of my trunk. You got to do better than that. See, they figure that we're from nothing, so they can dangle any little thing in front of us. We're gonna take it, and that's how it usually goes. You know what I mean? But when people went around the system, like I said, like the E40s, the Too Shorts, the Hammers, which I just realized all of them is from the Bay, but it is what it is.
Right.
They went to them labels and they was like, yo, I'll give you $1 million. Like, nigga, I made $1 million last year doing it myself. You're gonna have to do better than that.
Right.
I think that with the internet now, that these artists are proven and they're making money on their own, that you got to come better than that.
Right. Now, you know, I feel like when the independent wave really took off, and you know, a lot of independent art, they was getting a lot of money, I felt like the labels, you know, kind of start buying into these streaming networks or whatever, because I kind of feel like they still kind of control.
They own them.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, how do you win? How do you win though? Case it's like you control the streaming networks now. You can push the button on this. It's like
it's America. That's America though, and then that's why it's people look at different, like they look at sports different and music different. It's all part of America. You know what I mean? And America is set up for Black people to fail. That you can not like that, or people can hear that and think it's whatever. But the bottom line is, it's not set up for us to win. And these artists, like even Taylor Swift, that's why she pulled all her shit off of the streaming.
Yeah.
And she got a separate deal, because it's set up for you to lose. Like, you're doing the streaming thing, and what you don't know is that the labels own the streaming thing. They're not gonna promote that. Of course they wouldn't promote that. So they're double and triple dipping.
Right.
But that's America. That's if you look at America, you can take it out of music. That's the story of us.
Absolutely. And it's just mind blowing at times though, Case, because it's like, Can you imagine taking us out of the equation all the way around the board? That's with sports into anything. What do you
There's
got?
nothing without us. There's nothing. Like the biggest export that America has is American culture. But without us, there is no American culture. Like they took our music. They need us for the sports.
Absolutely.
Movies, that everything that they do comes from us.
Right.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't like to hear that, but a lot of people like me don't give a fuck.
Right.
It is what it is. Like without us, there is no. And at some point, and I feel like it might be easing towards that point, we have to make a stand to where if we don't get what we deserve, then y'all not gonna get what it is that you want. And it's starting to go that way. Like these artists now have way more control than we had. They own their masters.
Right.
They're making way more money than we made. And I love this. I love to see it.
Right.
Because we've earned that. We've earned that for 50, 60, 70 years. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. When it comes down to masters, let's break that down for a lot of artists who may not understand the importance of owning your masters or whatever, because I mean, the masters conversation came up, with Michael Jackson. I feel like he was terminated because of his masters and all of the thing, owning the publishing company, owning everybody's music. Prince, and we're seeing these examples. Can we just talk from a professional point of view on masters and how important masters is?
What a master is, the actual recording of me singing Touch Me, Tease Me is the master recording. I may have written it, I may have sang it, I may have done the video and everything, but the person that paid for it, being the record company, they own it. So if someone else wants to use it, they have to clear it through them, not me. They have to clear a certain part of it, the writing part, but as far as the master recording, if somebody wants to use it for a commercial, if somebody wants to use it for a commercial, they have to clear it through them because that's the master recording. When you own the master recording, you can do whatever you want with it. You can put it in a movie, you can put it in a commercial, you can release it again and again without my consent because you're the owner of it. And that's what owning your masters is. When you're so suppose I die tomorrow. Right. If I own my masters, my family is in control of what happens with my music. So basically, if I own the masters, then my family can say there's a movie 50 years later, because you see now there's songs that's 50, 60 years old that's in commercials.
Absolutely, on commercials now. Yeah,
they have to get permission from my family. They have to get permission from whoever owns the master. So it's important to own your masters, definitely.
Right. And is there at any point in time that you could actually purchase the masters?
Well, most contracts have a reversion clause, which means that after a certain amount of years, your masters go back to you as the artist.
If you still alive.
There's a loophole though. There's a loophole that I didn't think about that we have now. So I did a version of all of my hit records and I sang them over, which is not the master recording. So if somebody wants to use it for a commercial, they can use what I did and I get the money and I can cut the label out.
Okay. Y'all just got a gem right there. Anybody that's tuning in case they dropped a major gem on our heads right now.
The master is not the actual song. The master is the version that you recorded that the record company owns. So if you go and record it again, you can record 2 of them that night, the same night. Whichever one you give them, they own. The other one, you own.
Wow, that's dope right there. Crazy, man. Like now you've been in the game, and like I said, around the time that you've been in the game, we had a lot of heavy hitters. All y'all was heavy in the game, and I already know. I got a fan question. Craziest fan experience that you've ever experienced.
All right, let me think of a PG fan experience. All right, let me think. In 1996, Touch Me, Tease Me was out, so I'm in DC. I'm doing a concert, and at that time I would give roses to the girls. I would give lollipops, just different shit while I'm singing. So I give a girl on the right side of the stage a rose. I go to the other side, get a girl a lollipop, Well, the girl on the other side is like, he's singing to me, bitch. The other
What?
girl was like, he's singing to me. So I bring one of them on stage and I'm dancing with her, I'm singing to her. Well, the other one comes on stage and they start fighting.
Come on.
Like fist fight. Mind you, I never met either one of them.
Right,
So
right.
they can stage fist fighting. So I step to the side while security does it, and I keep singing the song. That was one of the craziest things that I've seen.
Wow, man. It just
I kept that real PG, didn't I?
yeah. I can only imagine, man. 7 studio albums though, Case,
Mhm.
man. Like what
It's
keeps
the
you
eighth one coming.
inspired?
It's the eighth one coming in a couple months. Case 25.
I need to make sure that I'm gonna be tapped in to get the exclusive on that too. Now we got to
Yes,
do
sir.
that.
We got the tour coming. We got the Netflix documentary about it coming. We got a lot of stuff coming this year.
What keeps you inspired? Because, like, we've heard rumors allegedly that you were difficult to work with in the
I never
game.
heard that one. I never
Man,
heard that
say
one.
that you because you and like I say allegedly you were one of the ones that actually put it to you like this. Speak up. You're not just gonna just be like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. You like
Yeah.
you don't want to do
But I never
something.
heard that was difficult though. That's a new one for me.
I'm gonna have to show you that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Please tell me that.
Oh
I
my
got to see that.
crazy
We said,
stuff
I
out there.
got to know, nigga. What's up?
Man, but was one of the ones that were vocal, man, and just didn't fall for the okie doke
Right.
when it comes down to a whole bunch of stuff. And we hear a whole bunch of things as far as like that go on in the industry or whatever. But I like the fact that even I like how you broke a lot of things down on the unsung and everything. A lot of things that a lot of people didn't know. You know what I mean? When it came down to there was some friction between one of the projects or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Can we kind of touch on that a little bit and
Yeah.
how you end up, coming out of that?
Well, for me, I guess the simplest way to say it is that the business part of the music business started to take away my love for the music, because it's the music business.
Right.
And I got to a point where the business part of it took away from my love of the actual music. And I always said that once I didn't love it no more, I wouldn't do it, because I don't want to put out bullshit. And I've always believed that people could tell when you're faking. And I always wanted to make real music. I always wanted to come from a real place, even if it's not what I'm really living, but the feeling of it should be real.
Right.
The love of it should be real. And I got to a point where I didn't love it no more, and I decided I wasn't going to make music no more.
Man.
Yeah, it gets like that. There's a lot of people that get like that and never come back from it though. They just never love it anymore.
That's what I'm saying, and I'm just glad that you came back, because, like, it's sometimes you get frustrated with it and you want to walk away from it, but you love it so much, because I feel like you definitely were blessed with that gift of singing. Yeah, you know what I mean? So still being inspired to still write and put projects together, still produce and co-write and do all of these type of things. The space that you're in right now, are you in a more controlled space now as far as controlling your brand now?
Yeah, definitely. What happened for me was that I had lost the love of the actual music. And what did it for me, ironically, I was a huge Michael Jackson fan, still am, but growing up.
Yeah.
Like you can't say nothing bad about Michael Jackson. Let me tell you, people who ain't Michael Jackson fans, I don't trust them.
Look, for real.
Michael Jackson fan.
For real.
And so what happened was, I had decided I wasn't never making music again because I didn't love it. The music business of it had messed it up for me. And what I did was, my grandmother passed in May of 2009, and then Michael Jackson passed in June of 2009. And what them two things did was, it took me back to when I was a kid listening to Michael Jackson at my grandmother's house. And then Michael Jackson passed, and that took me even further back into it. And that was the original stuff that sparked me into loving music. And so those two things happening back to back like that sparked me loving music again. And that's why I started making music.
Right, right. Now, soundtracks, just to be clear on this right here, man. These soundtracks, like I said, you've graced some of the biggest soundtracks. We got the Nutty Professor, Rush Hour, Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps, and The Best Man.
Johnson
Now,
Family Vacation.
Yeah. Now,
Vacation. Yeah, Vacation.
Johnson Family Vacation. Now, is it a difference with those type of chicks with being able to get those placements?
Well, no, the reason why and people this story is real anticlimactic. The songs, if you listen, they have nothing to do with the movie
At all.
What happened was that I was on Def Jam, and Def Jam had the soundtrack for that movie. So what we learned was that if you put the song on the soundtrack, the movie company pays half of the money to promote the song.
What?
Yeah, and so that's why them songs are on them soundtracks, and that's why they have nothing to do with the movie. The only one of them songs that's actually in the movie is in Johnson Family Vacation. Should have known better.
Man, that's another joint, man. That's just crazy. The writing process for Case. Take us into the lab mentally, the mental lab of Case, man. And like, what's your process, or everything is an organic feeling for you, or you go in and like take us through that process.
For me, the first and foremost is the melody is more important than anything. I learned that I had a conversation with Smokey Robinson, who to me is the greatest songwriter of all time.
I like how you just said that, like I had a conversation with Smokey Robinson. I like that, Case. Go ahead.
My bad. Yeah. But me, I mean, and the conversation is on YouTube. When I say I turned into a chick,
man,
this is Smokey Robinson.
Absolutely.
Like, to me, besides Paul McCartney and John Lennon, he's the greatest songwriter ever to me. And so he told me, and I was like, for me, melody is king. Like, there's nothing more important than the melody. And the perfect example of that, there's a lot of songs with nonsense lyrics that were massive hits.
Right.
Because, and I heard Michael Jackson say this. He said that you can find a 6-month, maybe year-old baby that won't know how to talk, and they don't know words, but they know the melody to the song.
Right.
And what that taught me is that the melody is the most important thing. And so when I'm going to write a song, like I said, I'm about to go in a few minutes and go to the studio.
Right.
The melody is the most important thing, because that's what gets you. I could be singing 25, 26, 20. It doesn't matter.
Right.
It's the melody that gets you. Like, whether you know the words. I went to Japan and I was on stage singing, and they knew every word. They knew melodies, everything. And after the show was over, they didn't speak English again.
Wow.
Because the melody is what they know. That's what babies know. Babies know melodies. They don't know. That's why they know the ABC song. It's the melody.
Now, you know what, Case? Now that you're saying that, now I'm tying it in with why I think that we vibe with these younger cats, because they're not really talking about a whole. It's all melody, and I didn't really think about it like that until you just said that. That's
melody
what it is.
King. Melody is king. Some of the biggest hit records that you can ever think of are bullshit. Like, you know this song. You have to.
Yeah. I like the melody. I don't know. We don't know. I love the melody though. Yeah.
And you can find a 2-year-old child that will know the melody to a song that can't really talk.
Right.
Because that's the most.
And they'll be bobbing. They'll be bobbing to it, and we'll be like, "Look at them! They be bobbing."
They're also singing. Yeah. They may sing the wrong words, but they'll know that melody. And so melody is the first thing for me. And then after that is having something to say. Like, what am I going through in my life? What is somebody close to me going through in their life that I can talk about? You know what I mean? But for me, it all begins with the melody of a song.
Right. Would you say that you have like a hate and love for the industry? Because it is some good things. If we could say some good things that you know, and good benefits that comes with being plugged into the machine. Do you think it's kind of a love-hate thing?
I don't think it's a love hate. It's that I understand what it is. And if
Okay.
you understand what something is going into it, then you can act, you can move accordingly.
Mm.
So I wouldn't say I love it and hate it. I just understand what it is.
Right, right.
It's kind of like if you if you're in a friendship,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a relationship, if you know what the person is about, you know how to move.
Right,
You
right.
know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you take the emotion out of it because love is an emotion. So you take the love and the hate out of it because those are both emotions, and you deal with it accordingly.
Right.
So I think that there was a point when emotionally I was into it like that, like okay, this is how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
But once you understand what it is, you take the emotion out of it, and you understand what it is, and you deal with it accordingly.
Right. And you know how to navigate better. You kind of know when somebody trying to, you know what I mean? So I definitely get
And let me tell you, I had a conversation with Charlie Wilson one day,
I
and he
just
said,
I hold up, Case, man. I just love how you just do that. You
"No,
know what
no,
I mean?
well, me and him are real close." And so
Okay.
we was having dinner one night, me, him, and his wife, and I was telling him, I was like, I feel like this about what's going on, and they stealing my, like I don't love it no more
Hmm.
because of what's going on." And you know what he said to me? He was like, "Don't let them steal your joy, baby."
Wow.
He was like, "Don't let them steal your joy." He was like, "This is what you wanted since you was a child.
Hmm.
You've loved music since you was a child. You can't let anybody take that away from you. Even if you never make another," he said to me, "if you never make another record again, if you never make another album again, don't let them take away your joy for music."
Hmm.
And that was real to me because when I was a child, of course I wanted to be famous. I wanted to be Michael Jackson. But at the heart of it, I loved music. And
Hmm.
at that time, I was allowing the business and what was going on to make me stop loving music. And he's like, "Don't let them steal your joy."
Right, man. And when you breaking it down, like that's like if they get down to that to take that, that's everything at that point. They
That's
can
you.
take the
They're
houses,
taking the
they can take
party.
the
They get the
cars,
party.
all right, right.
They take it. If they make me stop loving music, that means they've taken a part of me. And you can't let anybody do that to you. Whether it be if you're a female in a relationship, you
Hmm.
can't let a man take your love of yourself away from you. And that goes for men too.
Hmm.
And he said that he was like, and I'm telling you, that's exactly how he talks. Like, don't let them steal your joy, baby.
Wow,
Keep
man.
gapping. And every conversation ends with keep gapping.
Right. Have you ever hit a bump as far as because some artists find, you know, support, you know, even on the highest level, you know, you on that level. But
On the highest level.
well, to
I
me,
tried to keep it. I went
I'm
there though.
we're, you know, when we think about, and this is just me because I look at things different. Like when I look at guys like you, um, I'm still loving you up here. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like I'm not looking at, you know, because things have changed or whatever. But you know, to me, I'm still looking at you up here. You still the same Case to me. That's just a dope R&B, just dope all the way around, style, the whole package. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like that's how I view it. Do you
I
find it
appreciate that.
hard? No doubt. Do you find it hard? Because I mean, you still have your existing fans, that
Mhm.
just them core fans that love Case and everything that you have blessed the game with and still blessed the game with. Do you find it hard, bringing in the new fan base, because music is so different? Like they've kind of got R&B in a place to where, you know, they'll brainwash you and have you thinking that this is R&B. Do you find
Well,
it difficult?
well, here's what I learned about that. Um, and see, I'm not going to do what you said. I keep doing. I'm not going to mention who said this to me, but I have learned and been taught to take that out of it.
Hmm.
First of all, you take emotion out of it. You
Hmm.
take away. You don't let someone else dictate my emotion towards what it is that I do.
Hmm.
Um, and also, don't focus on the result. Just do the best that you can. Do what you feel from your heart, and whatever happens, happens. And if you succeed, if you fail, you know that you did your best.
Mm. I like that. I like that.
And as long as you can do that, then how can you be mad at yourself? You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And here's the other thing that and this really blows me away. I've run into so many people that are like 18, 19, 21, 22, and they're like, oh, I love your music, blah, blah, blah. My mom used to clean up the house to your music. Now, the reason why that blows me away is because when I was a kid, I remember distinctly my mom and my aunt every Saturday morning, you be in the bed sleep and you'll hear Al Green and Marvin Gaye and they in a vacuum cleaner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so for people to look at me like that, that's like a humbling thing, because that means that I've accomplished something. One of the things that I set out to accomplish, because if you look at any interview from when I first started, I never wanted to, when people be like, what do you want to accomplish? I never said, I want to win Grammys. I want to have $200 million. You know what I said? I said, I want to make music that in 20, 30 years that people still want to listen to. Because to me, that's the most precious thing that you can do when you're creating art. Because when you do that, you never die.
Right. Wow. Right.
And that's always what I wanted to accomplish. And so what my thing is the way I approach it now is I call it no fear, because there was a time when I operated from a position of fear, like, okay, we make this, they might not like that. Maybe they might not understand it. Maybe they might not get it. Now this is what I feel. And it's me. It's me. And as long as you know that you did the best that you can do, you can't worry about the result. The result is going to be what it's going to be. The money's going to come. The success is going to come. The adulation or whatever it is that you have, that's going to come. But the first thing that you have to do is the best that you can do. Right.
25th anniversary tour. Let's touch on that a little bit. Talk to me about that. I'm excited.
It's starting on August 13th, which is the day that my first album came out, 25 years ago. I have a lot of special guests coming. Everybody I worked with. Okay, I can't say no name. He said I can't say no name.
Man, that's cold.
No, but check it. Just think about everybody that I worked with, and you'll know that them people is coming.
Absolutely.
And that it's the more people coming.
Right.
And so, it's basically gonna be a celebration. It's gonna be a celebration of me realizing my dream. It's gonna be a celebration of me and my friends. We're gonna give y'all a good show. Like I said, I have all of the people that I've connected with over the years, all the people I've worked with over the years. And if you go back and look, I've worked with a lot of people.
Absolutely, man.
Damn near all of those people are going to be on the tour at some point. You saw a look, right? You saw that.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. Okay. So now I'm excited about this right here. Now, anybody else on the bucket list? Because you just scratched off a lot of people, but is it anybody else, new or old, that you would love to work with? A producer, whoever.
Yeah, there's a couple. I love Ty Dolla $ign. As far as new,
Ty is dope, man.
Man, that nigga, that's the most soulful nigga out right now.
Hey, real talk.
That when it comes to soul, my favorite rapper is Future. Speaking of soul,
Future?
I love Future. Nigga,
interesting.
Man, I love Future. His voice has so much soul to me.
It does.
If he could sing, it'd be over. Because he got more soul than his speaking voice is soulful.
I wouldn't have never thought you'd say Future.
Oh no, I'm ignorant. I like ignorant shit. I'm ignorant.
Word.
I just do this other shit on TV. Future, Ty Dolla $ign. Well, I scratched one off this summer. I worked with Salam Remy, who is somebody that I think is a genius.
Now, said that, I'm talking about, man, to this day. Thank you, man. Listen, I got when I seen To This Day, it's on the station website right now in the spotlight, video spotlight. It's in rotation right now. Man, I love that joint, man. The
Well, let
track,
me tell you
the
about that
video, you got me in the video. You got me on the video because you had me to the end. I'm like, come on, man. Are you serious? She doing it like that?
That's my chick. That was
Yeah.
Salon. That was all Salon. But let me
Wow.
tell you about that thing. We did that during the pandemic. We started talking on DM,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "I got this idea. I want to put out a project. You know, we all stuck in the house." And he sent me the track.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never recorded myself because I got a studio in my house.
Right.
Usually I have my engineer come over and he does it. So for that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna figure it out myself because you know my wife wasn't letting nobody in the house.
Right. Right.
So I figured out how to do it myself. I wrote it. I figured out how I wanted to do it and send it back to him. We sent it back and forth a few times. So I'm proud of that because that's the first song that I ever recorded myself.
Oh wait, I gotta clap that up, man. We gotta clap it up.
Thank you.
So you telling me that you just put this together like that? I mean,
Yeah.
the concept.
It was just me.
You didn't have okay. So he had the concept, and
he had the track.
Yeah,
he told me whatever I wanted to write to.
Oh man.
And so and what's funny is I still have the because he would send me videos of because I went in there and I'm like, okay, this is the track. I went in the studio and I'm like, and so we went back and forth. So he would send me videos like, okay, add this part, and add that part, and then we'd take this part out, and yeah, we did that over the internet. We did that over the internet. So I mean, we did work together, but we gonna get this. We talked. We gonna get in the studio. And we gonna do some shit for real.
Oh, that's gonna be crazy when y'all getting that together like that. Because I'm saying if y'all done that on the internet together,
like we've never met in real life. We never met in real life.
Oh my God, Case, come on, bro.
We did that over the internet. Yeah.
If y'all have not heard till this day, please go right. You're already on YouTube. Go check the video out.
Until this day, me and Salam.
Man, I'm talking about that joint is so crazy. What was the feedback and what have you been getting off of that?
People love it. People love it.
Crazy.
And let me tell you what Salam told me. He said, "What I want you to make," because before I started writing it, he sent me the track. I was like, "I love it." He was like, "These is like some James Cleveland type chords." He was like, "The stuff that I grew up on." And he said to me, he was like, "I want to make the type of music that I grew up on."
Right.
I'm like, well, I'm from New York too. He was like, okay, well, we're gonna make what we grew up on, and we want it to sound like. Remember the first day of summer, that first warm day when all the kids is out and niggas pull out their drop tops and
yeah.
He said he wanted it to feel like that.
Right. Well, it definitely did.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go right with that in my head. And we did it. We did the whole thing over the internet. We've never met in person.
So do you like zone out to the track for a while? You just kind of, and catch your vibe like that. You zone out to it for a while, or sometimes it just hits you right out the gate when you hear it.
Well, here's what I learned. I do zone out to stuff, but what I learned is that usually the first thing that I hear when I hear a track is the best thing. And so to this day, I took it up in the studio, played in the studio, and I had the mic on. And what you're hearing is the first thing that came to my head.
Wow.
So it's usually the first thing, and I learned that way back in 1990 from I'll Be Sure.
Right.
And he told me, he was like, usually the first thing that you hear, that's the organic thing, because that's what you feel from the music. Now, once you go back and you live with it, now you're thinking about it. But when you turn the mic on and you play it for the first time, that's a feeling. That's a feeling. Anything else is thoughts. Right. And when I think about it, he's right.
Wow. Therapy. The whole can you give us the overall vision for this project?
Therapy came out, what was it, September of 2018? Or 19? 19. One of them years. 19? 18. You see, this nigga don't know. 2018. For therapy, I was what I wanted to do was that was my first album that I ever did where I was like, I'm not gonna think about the result. I just want to do whatever I'm feeling. And me and Marvin Gaye's wife, we real cool, and we would talk. And actually, you know the song Maybe? Hold on, you know the song Maybe? Nona was supposed to do the girl part on Maybe.
Uh-oh. No. Oh man, no. There he is. He coming back, and he told her, "Hey, look,
I'm back. I'm back.
didn't you tell him about that? Didn't you tell him about that Boost mobile service?"
They said that.
Nigga.
That's T-Mobile.
Oh man, go ahead.
But yeah, Nona Gay was supposed to do the girl part on Baby.
Wow.
At that point, I was like, I just want to do whatever I'm feeling, and I was, well, I've always been really heavy into Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, and Michael Jackson, and so at that time, I was like, I want to do something in the vein of Let's Get It On, of the album Let's Get It On, and that's what therapy came from. So
wow, Treasure.
Yeah. Treasure was funny. We just talked about the producer J Soul and the writer. Well, y'all know what Treasure is about. Treasure was my favorite song. It was actually supposed to be a duet with me and Keith Sweat.
Really?
Yeah. But, I forgot why it didn't happen. But for the record, me and Keith got some shit coming. We got a duet coming. That's big bro. Yeah, that's big bro right there. That's big bro.
Man. That's the OG right there, man. I'm talking about.
That's family right there. So we got that coming. But that's what therapy really was. But that was my first album that I did where I didn't care about, well, maybe they won't like this, but they can just do what you're feeling. Just do what you're feeling.
Right. Man, let's get some shout outs, man, before we get out of here. Anybody you want to get some shout outs to, go on and shout them out, give them their roses.
Oh man, for me, I just want to give big shout outs to everybody that's helped me along the way. Al B. Shaw, Charlie Wilson, Pharrell Williams.
There you go.
Drew Hill, my dude Nokio from Drew Hill. Mary, who just had a birthday that passed.
Yeah, happy belated birthday, Mary.
Misa Hilton, who was my first manager. That's my people. Kenny Smooth. Definitely want to give a shout out to Russell Simmons. Got to give a shout out to Russell.
Absolutely.
Kenny Smooth. And just a shout out to everybody that supported me through all these years, because I know it ain't been easy, because sometimes I'm up and down, sometimes I don't fuck with it, sometimes I do. And I respect that. But I appreciate everybody supporting me all these years. I got some new stuff coming for y'all. Hopefully you like it. And I just want to thank God,
Absolutely, man. Let's put them social platforms out there, and anything else that you want to plug in. Case, let's go on and plug them up and get these people this information.
Well, for one, I got a movie coming out this year called Envision that I shot last year. I got a big role in that. Tawanda Braxton is my wife in the movie.
That's my girl, Tawanda, man. I see Tawanda. I see when Tawanda came on, and she tell me about them. I'm gonna call her.
I'm about to text her right now. Hold up.
Yeah, tell her, man.
Hold up. Text me from me. We about to curse her out.
Yeah, tell her Kano says she jive is I don't know what, man. She ain't say nothing about that.
Text her that. So we got a movie coming out called Envision. I got Case 25 coming out, the Case 25 tour, so everybody look out for that. What else? I'm just looking forward to, like I said, I got the love back for the music. I'm just looking forward to having fun. Oh, and social media, Instagram is IM_Case1. Twitter is Case_music, and Facebook is Case Music. So
y'all look at the bottom. Look at the bottom. It's scrolling down there. If y'all ain't got it, we got it rolling right there. Y'all get that. Before we get out of here, I just wanted to say, man, that just basically get your thoughts on this coronavirus or whatever. I just want to know just your thoughts on it before we get out of here, because I mean it does affect the entertainment business in a different type of way.
I mean, I had it. So
really?
Yeah, I think I caught it at my birthday party in October.
Nobody else did. So
okay, nobody else at my birthday party got it, but nigga, I left my birthday party with it.
Right.
Wow. These niggas infected me and then went and hid.
Are you serious, man? How did it affect you though? What was some of your
I gave it to my daughter.
Oh man.
I'm still sleeping in the closet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Everybody good.
But,
Wife. Everybody okay though. Everybody good.
yeah, everybody cool now, except for that I'm still getting cursed out.
Of
So
course.
you had to go.
Of
But
course.
yeah, I had it. I think that I just want everybody to be safe, man. In case you was about to ask, no, I'm not taking that fucking vaccine because you niggas been looking for a vaccine for you niggas ain't got a vaccine for the common cold. And you gonna tell me you found this in 10 months on Trump's watch? I'm cool.
Right.
Yeah, I'm good on that. I'm good on that.
Troy say case 19. That's crazy. Yo, Case, man, I know you got to get to the man and put it in. I just want to say for me and the team, thank you so much again for blessing us with this amazing opportunity, man. We can't wait to get you back on here again.
Thank you for having me.
Keep me in the loop on whatever's dropping. I want the exclusive, man. I want the exclusive. Also for the 25th, I know y'all gonna be coming to Atlanta too, right?
Oh shit, yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna try to connect and come out there, man, and we'll do a live broadcast out there.
Let's do it. I can't wait.
Y'all make sure that y'all go and check for my guy, man. Get in tune with what's going on. Follow him right now. Don't play no games. Y'all get connected, get plugged in with all this good music on Instagram. It's at @IAM_case1 on Twitter. That's case_music. And on Facebook, it's Case Music. Y'all love this man. Y'all, let's give him his flowers right now while he here, man. Support the movement. Love you, my brother. Can't wait to get you back on here again. We'll be in contact. Absolutely. It's the vibe.
This shit over.
Oh yeah, most definitely. You know that's gonna happen. It's the Vibe Show with my special guest, the one and only, my brother, King Case. We out of here.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to everybody, man, that was on the live, that stayed in vibing out with me and my special guest, the one and only Case. Let me give some special shout outs real quick to the people that was on the live. Troy Hughes, Leanne Ritchie, Nicer, Tasha D, Helen, let me make sure I get that right. Parchment, Helen Parchment. Don't be mad at me, Helen, if I got it wrong. Shout out to Mr. Lawton TV. Who else we got on here? Shout out to Jacoby. Shout out to Driver Seat. Shout out to Jay Versus. And let me see. Shout out to Danielle Hilton. And let's see. Let me make sure I got everybody else in here. I don't want to miss nobody. I sure appreciate that love. I think we have got everybody that was on the live. Let me just make sure I don't want to miss nobody. Oh, and shout out to Francesca Elena. Make sure to, if you are new to the channel, make sure that you go and hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. We got plenty more exclusive guests coming up on the Vibe Show 97.9. Also, y'all make sure y'all go over there and check out our exclusive Vibe Show radio station website. Y'all go and check it out. Log on to our official website at www.thevibeshow979.net, where you can hear that exclusive Case. We got those joints in rotation right now over there on the Vibe Show 97.9. Also, make sure you get connected and download the Vibe Show 979.net mobile app, available in your Google App Store. If you're not following me, make sure you go and follow me on IG at the Vibe Show 97.9 FM on Instagram. You follow me, I'll follow you back. It's the Vibe Show 97.9. Y'all make sure y'all take care of yourself. Stay safe. Stay prayed up. It's going to be all right. I love y'all. Thank y'all for all the love and support. I'm out.